Can't wait to see the ratings for this show. Second time. I'm prepared to eat and then play some music. We have music from, we have 3 records, so we play music from all the different records, and never know until I see the room, so then I decide usually.
1, 2, 1, 2. Alô, microfone, alô, 1, 2, 3, som. É esse que tem som aqui nesse microfone. 1, 2, 3, experiência, alô, alô, som. Opa!
Brazil, my first time here. Excited.
Yeah, first for me too.
Yeah, it's like third, 4th time. Rio and Sao Paulo and some little other towns I can't remember the name of actually, because you know I was on a tour at one point around here.
We all met in Brooklyn. We were very close friends at the time, and I decided to start a band with these guys. You know, I met them. I said, that Matt Mitchell, he looks like a good piano player. I think I'll try to hire him. Oscar Noriega. I said, man, he's amazing.
An actor on YouTube.
And then I met Chess. We were auditioning for a Frito commercial. And we met, and we were sitting around, we talked about playing music together. And so we got together and started this band.
Naquele momento tinha um movimento em Nova York, anos 80, digamos, de uma música um pouco experimental, né? Às vezes bastante experimental, mas que parece que partia de uma forma ao mesmo tempo.
I was in college, bored, and somebody was selling the saxophone, so I bought it for $100 and started playing. Because I like music. I thought that should be a good career choice for someone 20 years old who had nothing else going for him.
Foi um momento onde as grandes gravadoras também estavam de olho nesse mercado. E fizeram 2 discos com ele, completamente experimentais, né? E eu me lembro que alguns discos eram difíceis de ouvir, eram mais áridos, e outros mais musicais. Esse foi um dos que eu achei musicais. Então, foi um disco que eu prestei atenção, assim, porque eu achei interessante, achei que tinha chama Sanctified Dreams.
I was 5 years old, and my family had a piano, and I started taking lessons, and that's how. And then a few weeks later, I joined this band.
Who do you like to hear?
Piano players and drummers only, actually.
Because they're percussion buddies.
That's right, they're percussion brothers.
Percussion brothers.
That's right. Just plays drummer.
I started, my older brother played drums, and this family in my neighborhood played drums, so we all tried to do what they did. And I was the littlest kid, so I had to get beat up a lot to play drums, so I learned that you had to really want it. Like, you have to be able to play while someone's punching you and telling you suck, screaming in your face. But yeah, it's character building. Drummers like Dale Crover and Dave Lombardo, and yeah, tons of people.
First instrument was saxophone. I played in a band I have 4 brothers, and when we were kids we started playing. So my 2 older brothers played, and then I started saxophone, and then we all put a band together when we were kids. So that's how I started and why
It's
I
called
started.
menudo.
Called Menudo. No, it was called Manos Jovel.
Moneta.
You know Tom Zay.
Yeah.
Tom Zay, yep.
What about that?
Caetano Veloso.
Caetano, love Caetano.
Tom Jobim.
Jobim. That doesn't ring a bell.
I like Jobim a lot.
Good. I think it's time. Coffee break? Yeah. I'm working hard.
Ô doutor, vem provar uma fruta diferente, uma fruta exótica. Tem as frutas exóticas brasileiras, tem as frutas colombianas, tem as frutas asiáticas. Então cada fruta tem um paladar diferente da outra. Os gringos, por acaso, eles gostam muito da fruta exótica, mas a maior parte é brasileira. Certo? Eles gostam de cacau, gostam de graviola, gostam de cupuaçu. Fruta típica norte e nordeste. A gente aborda ele nesse termo, né? Eles gostam de provar fruta, mas na hora de pagar eles reclamam muito. Fruta exótica é sempre mais caro.
Now we need to find the whiskey.
Como eu conheci o Tim? Através da Silvina, que trabalha com o Tim e me passou o material e eu montei essa turnê dele. Buenos Aires e agora São Paulo. Com 2 shows em São Paulo, no Sesc Consolação e Ribeirão Preto.
Excellent. Best fruit I've ever had. It was good, very good. Where I live in Brooklyn, it's much quieter than Manhattan. So I think Manhattan is maybe more similar to Sao Paulo. It's hard to tell. I mean, I don't really know Sao Paulo. I mean, it's a big city, so I'm sure if I was here for several months, I would find some similarities, but it's hard to tell. Many different labels, yeah. Columbia, Sony, I don't know, Clean Feed, Soul Note, a lot of different.
How was the
Good, it's sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But now I'm with ECM and that's good. You know, I feel good about that. I'm interested in, the packaging is very interesting to me. Having to own my own music I think is important. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to do it.
people who you record, who are them?
Well, besides me, Django Bates, Mark Ducre, Michael Formanek, Julius Hemphill recording. I lived in Brooklyn since 1976.
You play all of kinds of sax?
No, just alto and sometimes baritone. Big one.
Which ones do you prefer?
Alto.
Why?
It's easier to carry. It's lighter. I like to improvise. I like to make things up.
Jazz is improvisation?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I mean, you're trying to do the same thing. You're listening and you're playing together and you're just trying to make music. I mean, for me, there's no difference, really. I mean, it's just music. I think I talked to Matt about it first, and then I met Chess and played with Chess. You know, we met and played. I met and played with Matt, and I really liked his playing, so I asked him if he'd want to suffer and be in one of my bands. And then I asked Chess, I think after I played with him, and then I asked Oscar, who I actually knew for quite a long time. We got together and played. I didn't really know Oscar's clarinet playing that well, and so we got together, and I was impressed, so I started a band with these guys, and so far so good. So everyone's still smiling.
About music I play with these guys, I enjoy the experience because it sort of demands a lot of me. Sort of like a one of those herding dogs, you know, that sort of corrals the sheep or the shepherd. I'm a sheepdog. You know, like I have to sort of like I have a lot of responsibility, you know, which like in addition to improvising, I play all the written material as well, and I mean we're sort of like we're sort of a foundation, rhythmic foundation and melodic and harmonic foundation. So yeah, we have to agree on a lot of things or agree in how we disagree on things. You know what I mean?
Eu senti algumas coisas bastante interessantes, não ter contrabaixo, por exemplo. Numa coisa tão intensa, muda a função do piano, né? O piano assume uma outra função. Um pianista super bom, super interessante, um baterista super interessante também, que toca vibrafone muito bem também.
Hi, I'm Chess. Yeah, when I'm on drums, I'm usually just playing around the rhythms of, this music Tim wrote. And, so, the more I can get it in my ear and not actually be reading it anymore, the better, because a lot of, so I can really go in any direction. And when we first started playing together, Tim always, the only thing he said was he kind of imagined a counter line. Like I wouldn't play verbatim what they're playing on, the rhythms on the drums, but I'd kind of create another part that maybe pushes it somewhere else or makes it feel different. That can change depending on, either how I'm feeling or what section just came before or what was going on dynamically the section before. You know, I might approach it a different way. So if I can really have it pretty much memorized, it helps.
É uma música mais difícil, né? Ela pressupõe uma escuta que não é a sua escuta habitual. É de certa forma como ler um livro. Ou seja, você não está... Se você abre um livro em uma página qualquer, você não entende o que está acontecendo. Você precisa ler o livro inteiro. Diferente de algumas outras músicas que basta você ler um capítulo que já está. Você já reconhece o lugar, você já sente um reconhecimento.
You know, it's kind of like a multi-percussion set, basically. You know, some gongs. Sometimes I have more gongs and minus the conga. It changes, you know. And then the vibraphone, that started a few years ago. Tim just wanted to see what it would be like to have vibes on the gig, or I can't remember how it started, but, you know, I started slowly learning his music, which is really, you know, it can be really dense, so. I just started, at first there was no vibraphone in the setup, and then as I started learning, you know, the notes of the pitches and the rhythms, then, you know, I started incorporating it more and more. And I think it really opened up the improvised sections from what I hear from people, at least. You know, sometimes it feels like we're just improvising the whole thing, even the written parts.
Rafa, ajusta o 4-2-1 do clarinete, por favor, Rafa. Tá com...
With Tim, well, I've known Tim for... The first time I met him was in Boston at the Middle East. Did you really? Yeah. I was 30 years ago. And then I moved to New York maybe 22 years ago, and that's how I got to know Tim besides just going to hear his music or buying his records. And then years later, we played together. Tonight's show, well, and this band, it's clarinets. This the B-flat clarinet and bass clarinet. And he wrote music having me play both. You know, he has an idea of what he wants. And yeah, I'm fortunate to have both instruments.
Eu acho que tem ali um desafio para o músico tocar aquilo. De fato, não é fácil. Então, o músico se envolve com o desafio, tanto de composição quanto de execução. Você vê que, de fato, as obras são compostas, né? E, ao mesmo tempo, tem momentos de improviso, mas tem momentos de muita composição.
But, you know,
It's like having a conversation. That's how it's the simplest way to explain it. They're good conversations, and sometimes they're just conversations.
You know, here in Brazil we have a style that is called choro. Do you know?
Choro, yeah.
Yes, and there's something very... They talk a lot about the contraponto.
Yeah.
It's something like
Counterpoint.
that. Yes. You talk something and he talks about it.
Yeah, I think that happens with everybody in this band. What Matt was describing earlier, you know, I think a lot of that happens just from playing together and reacting.
now I'd say 90% of my writing is for this band because we've been together so long. And so I'm not really looking at notes, I'm looking at their personality, you know, and so it helps a lot, you know, I can write something. I think the music, these guys will probably laugh, but I think it's gotten simpler because now I know them better and I know how little we need to make something to happen, you know, and the idea is not to suffocate them with notes, but to just give enough information to get a reaction. I don't really have a concept. I just try to make interesting music with composition and improvisation, and I use the composition to inspire these guys to want to improvise in an interesting way. You know, the longer we play together, I think the better it gets. The less I have anything to do with it, really. I just book the tours. But, you know, I'll just throw music in front of them. I could pretty much at this point, I could just throw 3 notes in front of these guys and something would happen that would be fairly interesting, you know. And so the concept, I think, how can we make interesting music every night without trying not to repeat ourselves too much, you know what I mean?
Ele é incrível, né? Ele tem um domínio da linguagem do sax. Você vê que parte do show é todo escrito, partitura, e depois quando parte para o improviso, timbres incríveis, texturas. É um cara que sabe o que está fazendo no palco mesmo, com propriedade, né?
Eu acho assim, é uma música mais difícil, né? Ela pressupõe uma escuta que não é a sua escuta habitual.
Ele é desestruturado, apesar de ter a partitura e de ter os temas, e isso deixa ele muito interessante, não fica aquela coisa sonolenta ou aquela coisa sempre muito tradicional. O show foi muito bom, foi incrível.
They all have extreme personality when they play. You know what I mean? They're not trying, they're just being themselves. And that's all I need. I don't really care if someone, you know, what anyone's influenced by or whether they're original. I don't think any of us are really original, you know. That's sort of overrated.
Uma experiência rica de você poder entrar num outro território e ver uma outra experiência humana, né? Eu acho que isso vale muito a pena. Eu acho que a música serve para isso também. A música amplia territórios, né? E eu acho que as pessoas estão vivendo muito os mesmos territórios. Está fazendo falta essa diversidade. Eu acho que civilização, para mim, é diversidade. E são muito bons músicos, então você sempre tem uma experiência boa.
They're confident enough to flirt with failure, you know, every night. And so they never really play it safe. Flirting with failure should be a movie. It might be.